chegar, chegar, chegar. Rui, rui. These are different ways to pronounce the letter R in Portuguese language. However, not all of them are used in European Portuguese. In this video, we're gonna demystify the sound h and r. You're gonna learn how to pronounce it and where to articulate it. As you can hear, I'm speaking in English, which I try to avoid on this channel. But as this video is mostly, but not exclusively, destined to all my people who keep rolling their R's, I decided to speak in English. I hope it helps you all, and let's dive into it. Eu sou a Maria, vamos lá começar. To start with, the letter R has two sounds in European Portuguese. It can either be r, so the front sound r, and it can be the back R, which is h. So let's start with a front r. So for you to stop rolling the R's when you pronounce Portuguese words, let's take a look at some examples where you actually hear that sound as well. Ladder, or batter, gotta, sorta, or got it. Internet. So it's actually the flap sound T. R, internet. So let's focus on the place of articulation. What's happening here? So to articulate the front sound R in European Portuguese, you need to touch the upper hard palates with the tip of your tongue. So let's imagine that this is the upper palate, hard upper palate, and this is our tongue. So we need to touch the upper palate here with the tip of the tongue. So your tongue is relaxed, and when you say batter, batter, the tip of your tongue is just flapping the upper palate. So batter, 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 ladder, internet, sorta. The same thing happens in European Portuguese. Chamar, chamar, r, 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 r. If you still struggle to pronounce it, let's just make that r vibrate. So relax your tongue, let the air flow through your mouth, and let the front part of your tongue touch the upper hard palates many times. Now let's reduce. Let's say just r, 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 r. So keep practicing this. If you cannot understand which part of the tongue is touching the upper palates, it will help you feel that vibration on the tongue. Okay? Now let's join this sound to some vowels. Ra, ro, ru, ri, re. 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 Let's say it with some consonants. Pr, 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 pr. Fr, 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 fr. Br, 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 br. Kr, 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 kr. So instead of rolling the tongue back, just relax it and flap the upper hard palates. So when to pronounce the letter R, as r, when it's in the middle of a word or when it's at the end of a word. At the end of a word, we find it in infinitives and in future subjunctive. Let's say some words. Secretaria, secretaria. Pay attention here, we do not pronounce the sound E. Secretaria. And IA make the sound ya. Secretaria, secretaria. Empresa, 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 pr. Again, the letter E we do not hear. Empresa, 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 empresa. Outro, outro. Attention here, there is no outro, it's reduced, it's outro, 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 outro. Let's make one sentence. Precisamos de pôr o dinheiro na conta. Precisamos de pôr, or, não é por, or por, pôr, in European Portuguese. Precisamos de pôr o dinheiro, o dinheiro na conta. Precisamos de pôr o dinheiro na conta. Precisamos de pôr o dinheiro na conta. Juntamos de pôr. Precisamos de pôr o dinheiro na conta. Precisamos de pôr o dinheiro na conta. Precisamos de pôr o dinheiro na conta. Okay, so now let's practice pronouncing the back letter R, actually the back sound R. What I'd like you to do now is to take a sip of water and repeat this with me, just to understand how not to articulate the sound R in Portuguese, okay? So pay attention. Are you getting? Do you understand? So you should not be pronouncing it here. It's not vibrating here. Which means that when you pronounce this sound, your throat should never hurt. So you should not be choking when you pronounce the sound R. Okay? So it's not like French R. If you want to compare it with some other languages, I'd say it would be Spanish R more than French R. Okay? So let's understand what's the exact place of articulation. To be able to produce the sound R, we actually lift the back of our tongue and the front part of the tongue still keeps relaxed, and we block the airflow. So let's practice blocking the airflow completely by lifting the back of the tongue and not allowing the air to flow through the mouth, like this. You cannot breathe, right? Now let's allow just a little tiny place for the air to go through. Just keep breathing through your mouth, okay? If you touched your back soft palates with the back of your tongue a little bit harder, you will have that sound R in Portuguese. So just a little bit harder, you press it and you release it. R, 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 R. Rui, rosto, rir. And I'm not gonna be lying to you. The more saliva you have in your mouth, the stronger that sound will be. I know how ridiculous it sounds, but that's just the way it is. Practice speaking for a couple of minutes and then say the sound R, and practice swallowing your saliva and saying the same sound like this. R, R. What happens here is that you're scratching your back soft palates a lot and it may hurt. So do not stress it so much. I prepared some examples for you to hear Portuguese people speaking and pronouncing the back sound R in many different ways. So let's hear those when R is not so liquid, is not so juicy.
Chegaremos a horas restaurante.
Restaurante. R. So can you hear? It sounds like R. Restaurante. So you do not even need to force it so much. You can say restaurante, or you can force it and say restaurante, restaurante, but there's really no need to do that, okay? So just relax, just try to understand what is the place of articulation, and everything else is not so important. It's not important if you pronounce it stronger or weaker. It's just important where you pronounce it.
Apartamento é arrendado. Apartamento é arrendado. Apartamento é arrendado.
Arrendado, arrendado. Do you hear? It almost sounds like arrendado, arrendado. So your throat doesn't hurt, right? You're not scratching your throat, but the back soft palates. Arrendado. And do not be scratching them, be gentle to your palates, okay?
Espera, Raquelinha. Espera, Raquelinha. Espera, Raquelinha.
Raquelinha, Raquelinha, Raquelinha. It's almost like isn't it? Raquelinha. Another thing that you can hear in Portuguese is r.
Acabou-se o recreio. 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 Deu arranjar um. Deu arranjar um. É deitar dinheiro à rua. Rua.
Agora temos é de rever e arranjar outro grupo. Agora temos é de rever e arranjar outro grupo.
So instead of Rui, somebody would say Rui. Instead of saying rosto, somebody would say rosto. Rosto. Instead of saying rir, somebody would say rir. So as much as I know, that used to be how people spoke in Portugal many years ago, maybe 19th century or something. So it's not standard anymore. But if that back R is so difficult for you, maybe you want to say it like Rui. But there should be the difference between pronouncing one R and pronouncing R or R. Because some words just change the meaning if you pronounce one or two R's. Carro, caro. Comprai carro caro. Comprai carro caro. Now let's say that one that you hate, it's que horror. Que horror. So please don't make it more difficult than it actually is. Que horror. Horror. Right? Horror. Que horror. 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 So again, do not scratch your throat. It's not que horror, horror, or horror, que horror. Just don't let the air flow. Que horror. It can sound like h, like strong h. Que horror. When do we pronounce the letter R as h? At the beginning of a word, like Rui, rato, rosto, rápido. And when we have the double R, correr, ocorrer, corrente. Let's practice both. If you really want to make your life difficult, you can practice this sound in different tongue twisters, but we're not gonna do it today. If you would like me to make another video for you with tongue twisters, let me know in the comments, okay? Now let's make some sentences in which we have the letter R at different positions. Iremos no carro do Rui para Faro. Iremos no carro. We have double R here. Carro do Rui para. We don't say para. Para Faro. Fara. Flap. Faro. Iremos no carro do Rui para Faro. This one almost sounds like tongue twister. Iremos no carro do Rui para Faro. 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 Começaram, flap R, começaram a rir. rir-se. Começaram a rir-se do meu gorro roxo. 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 Also pay attention to the word começaram. It's not começaram. It's começaram. Começaram a rir-se do meu gorro roxo. Roubaram-me. Roubaram-me. So, roubaram. Attention here, it's not rou. It's reduced to o. Roubaram-me o relógio. Relógio, não é relógio. Relógio, e we do not hear. Relógio e a carteira. Carteira. No autocarro. No autocarro. Ok? So, roubaram-me o relógio e a carteira no autocarro. 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 Okay? So, one last time, your throat should not hurt. If anything hurts, that's your back soft palates. Okay? But as I said, please be gentle. Okay, you already know everything. Thank you for your patience. I'll see you in the next video and keep practicing. Goodbye. Adeus.